Hello and welcome to the introduction of the silver chess clock. Beside the DGT digital chess clocks, the silver is one of the FIDE approved tournament clocks for official tournaments. It comes in a handy box with a manual, safely wrapped. In order to operate it, you need 4 AA batteries. They are not included in the delivery, but I've already inserted them here in the clock. You can start the clock with the button on the bottom. You put them to on, and here you can see it starts with mode 1. So theoretically, now you can just simply go on playing. The black player would just push his button. Now you see this clock is running with the lamp and here with the cross. It works like a normal chess clock. Every player pushes his respective player button in order to start his opponent's clock. If you want to see how many moves you've made so far, you just push the proc button during the game. If you want to stop the clock, you simply push the button in the middle. If you then want to go on, you can push any of the two. It always starts the clock with there. If the game is over, you simply stop the clock and push the mode button for a long time until it goes back to mode 1 and you can restart the game. So now I want to show you some basic features that the clock has. Right. So we have the on-off button on the bottom. We have the stop button in the middle. It's also used if the clock's already on to turn off the display. You have the 2 player buttons, right, for the white and for the black player. You have the mode button, which usually helps you if the game is already started to go back to the basic setting. You can also move between the different modes that are preset in the clock. It's 12 of them plus the user mode, and then you can turn on and off LEDs, right? So you can turn them on, off, and on. You can turn on the buzzer and turn it off, right? So you can do any other settings. You can look into the manual. On page 11 is the English manual. It also comes in Spanish and in Russian and German, of course. On page 14, you can find the list of all the modes that are already preset in the clock. So, for example, you can see here that you have a blitz game, you have a Fischer blitz game, you have a Bronstein, so delay blitz game, you have a rapid game, a Fischer rapid game. You have an hourglass time, 30 seconds, and you have a normal game with 2 extensions, and you have different FIDE tournament modes that are used in official tournaments. I would like to introduce to you today how to program an individual thinking time with 3 periods. So we start by picking up the clock with the switch on the bottom, turn it on, then you can see it starts from mode 1. So theoretically now you could already go start playing. It would be a blitz mode, 5 minutes for each player. That's not what we want to do. So we just stop the clock, go back to the mode. What we want to do is we want to set a Fischer mode. So we can look from the list to any Fischer mode that we like. So let's start with mode number 2, which would be a Fischer Blitz. But that doesn't really matter because you can set from any mode. You just need the right increment. So here we have 3 minutes plus 2 seconds of Fisher increment. If you push the probe button, you can then modify the time preset. So with the left player button, you can increase the numbers from 0 to 9, right? As you can see, the minutes are blinking. We are in time period number 1. The minutes are blinking. We move on with the right button to tens of seconds, to seconds, to hours. We wanted to have 2 hours, so we put this number with the left player button to number 2. And then we can see tens of minutes, minutes, tens of seconds, seconds. So now we have set 2 hours for the first period of time. If you push then the mode button, you move to the left player. So theoretically, you could put in 2 different times for the left and for the right player. But we want to have the same time, so we push the mode button again. We are at the right player. We push it again. We move forward to set moves. We don't want to set any moves, so we just push the mode button again. And with this sign over here, you can see that we are now setting the increment. So as we don't want any increment in the first period of time, we go from minutes to tens of seconds to seconds. We put this to 0. Here we go. So we have now no increment for the first period of time. Mode number 1, mode number 2, mode for the third time. So here you can see we are now in the second period of time. And the minutes are blinking again. You can always tell by the points over here. So you move forward to tens of seconds, we move forward to seconds, we move forward to hours, we put the hours to 1. Perfect, finished. Mode first time, mode second time, mode third time. We don't want to set any moves. Mode again. And now we have the increment for the second period of time. We don't want any increment, so we push the mode button again. First time, second time, third time. We've now moved on to the third period of time. So we want to set 15 minutes and 30 seconds of increment. The minutes are blinking again. So first we set the minutes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it's going to be 15. Tens of seconds, seconds, hours, tens of minutes. So we set that to 15 minutes. We push the mode button for the first time, push the mode button again, and pushing the mode button for the third time, we move on to the increment section. And now we can put in the 30 seconds of increment. Minutes are blinking. We move forwards with the right player button. We augment the numbers with the left player button, 1, 2, 3. So now we have 30 seconds of increment. Mode again, mode again, mode again. And we are back to the beginning. So here you can see we have now set 2 hours. Mode, mode, mode. No increment. Second period, 1 hour. No moves, no increment. And for the last period of time, 15 minutes plus 30 seconds of increment. So if you now push the probe button again, this is saved as user 2, right? So you can see that the user mode has been modified. And you have now your time set, and you can simply start playing with the black player pushing his player button, and the clock starts running. And you can simply proceed in your game as usual. So once the time is set, you can see the clock is running. If you stop the clock, you can see that this is a special user mode. It's user number 2. If you ever want to reset the clock, right, reset to the factory settings, the only thing you need to do, best is you leave the clock on, you turn it around, you take out one of the batteries for a few seconds, and when putting them back in, you get the acoustic signal that the clock has been reset. So now you can see we're back to mode 1, and the user mode has been reset. If an arbiter needs to change anything, you just stop the clock. If you push the probe button for a short amount of time, you see the number of moves that have been made. If you push it for a long time, the arbiter can make changes. So, as we explained in the other video, the left player button is for changing the numbers, right? And the right one is to move forward in the respective setting. It always goes from hours to tens of minutes to minutes to tens of seconds to seconds and back. If you want to go to the other player, you simply push the mode button and then you can do the same setting on the right. Pushing the probe button again, the game is reset to the time point where you stopped it, and with a simple push of one of the player buttons, you can go on playing. Thank you for your time and enjoy playing with the Chess Time Silver.